Kris, what are you most looking forward to about this whole event?
Just to see everybody. The turnout was, looks like it's going to be incredible. Just to see, all our teammates kind of, going down memory lane. I think that's something that's, very special to be able to do that for this group. Especially obviously with the 97 and then the back-to-back. We just saw Vladdy come in. I think that's something that, we all, it to this day still hits us, very emotional, able to give him a big hug and smile. And, so it's definitely great to see Vladdy. But, for me, I've said this, all along throughout, my career and even playing now, being a part of the Detroit Red Wings is, one of the biggest things in my life. And, to be able to see all these guys, I'm fortunate that we have so many guys that live in the area. But, seeing obviously when I go over to Europe, I get to see some of the guys as well. But, seeing Nick and Homer is always special. But, Aaron Ward, I haven't seen him in a while. Bob Rouse is in, getting to see Bob Rouse, who was an incredible teammate. Kevin Hodgson, one of the funniest human beings I ever played with.
Was already in rare form, already.
So we saw Ticker. So, and just an opportunity where we just get to kind of hang out. For me, it's, with the job, it gets pretty busy. There's not too many weekends that I just get to, hang out at LCA and kind of be a part of this. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then just, the family, having all the families around. There's such a huge part of that and a huge part of the success that we had. So I just want to take everything in and, just to see everybody, have some laughs, talk, whatever it is. And then, to see the Stanley Cup again, back here is something that, means so much to all of us. So just to be able to be around that, hold it, is going to be special as well.
Just eavesdropping on Scotty there at the end. I mean, there's any doubt in your mind there's nobody like him?
That threw me off. The compliment.
No. Oh,
yeah.
In front of us.
Yeah.
I
don't know if he knew we were here.
He didn't know we were here.
But that was, it's amazing, what he said about how sometimes, not starting the superstars, and then you think about in 1997 going, into Philadelphia, and obviously, myself, Mac, and Maltz, started. That was something that we certainly, didn't see coming. I think everyone was talking about, is it going to be the Yzerman-Lindros matchup? Is it going to be the Sergei, the Russian 5 matchup? How is that going to play out? And then sure enough, Scotty being Scotty just threw, a wrench and a loop and all of that by starting the grind line. So it was, and with Nick and Murph, and there wasn't too many times that Scotty wanted the grind line on the ice with Nick and Murph, but we were able to do that.
Away from Nick as possible.
Yeah, so I mean, just stuff like that, and just listening to, to Scotty, his mind is still so sharp. You can just see the things that he likes about the game, he'd change about the game, he remembers about the game, and just talking about the stick position when players are skating. I might actually talk about seeing if I can hire him as a scout. It's amazing how sharp he is. So it was great to see Scotty. The conversations that we're going to be able to have over the next couple of days are certainly going to be special. And even with the whole coaching staff, Barry Smith, Mike Krushelinski, Dave Lewis, just keep going. John Wharton's here. Haven't seen him in a long time, and obviously Paul Boyer still works here. The opportunity to be around, just everything. So it was a pretty special moment.
As fans and media, we have our memories. I'm curious, when you say you guys go down memory lane, what are you guys talking about? And are there any printable stories that we may not have heard that you've shared?
There's a few guys that you wouldn't think that you'd let, like we mentioned Kevin Hodgson, Ticker earlier, or Jamie Pusher, Ross, Mike Knubel, the Dandy, the younger guys. They're really good memories to bring up different dinners or stuff like that. So it's when getting along. The one thing what brought up to me, I think 25 years later, is all our kids. Because a lot of us being younger, now our kids, like my son Griffin's here, he's 26. Mark Howe's son Travis is 44, and just the kids at the different level. I know Bernie's daughter, who was born here, has come back. So I think it's the guys that we don't get to see a lot. Like we communicate like text thread and stuff like this for the guys that you see that are involved and live here, involved with the team. So it's the guys like Bob Rouse and the guys that we don't get to see is what we appreciate. But you never know. there's always new ones, new ways to make fun of Homer. I mean, that's always something. How can we knock on? Did you know that Nick Lidstrom's so powerful that he got a chauffeur at a Men's Warehouse license? Look the way he's dressed. He's unbelievable. But they're still doing that stuff over in Sweden. We just look like Kris said, to be around each other for as little as we do. These guys are all busy. I mean, like trying to get this organization further along. And the one thing about Scotty is it just takes him 25 years to say it publicly. We felt it. I knew we felt
the love,
appreciation in the room like that, and the responsibility. Because what Kris will always tell you, there's a couple things, right? Is that whenever the responsibility was put on our shoulders, and if you're talking the grind line or whatever, right? Just like Igor was talking about Steve Yzerman, we looked to Drapes, but it was just the way that was. And that was our Hall of Fame moments or Stanley Cup moments, is that we knew what we meant to the guys because we know how much they let us know that, if that makes sense.
Kris, you guys are in there. You had so many guys now in this front office who are part of this team.
Yep.
So you come at team building.
First of all, obviously the pride that we take within the organization, being a part of, Stanley Cup Championship teams, being a part of disappointments as well. I think that's something that, makes us appreciate the success even more, is the disappointments that we had. And I think, we were in a very special locker room with the players that we had, the character that we had, the talent that we had. So I think, as we go around and look at, players and go to games all over the world, you're trying to bring in, a ton of character. That's obviously, you want the skill, you want the hockey sense. Character is, obviously a big thing that was a part of our success. And I think any team that wins needs that character, because a Stanley Cup run, you're going to go through so much adversity. It's never going to be smooth. I listened to Nathan McKinnon on Spit and Chicklets talking about, how it was the previous year of how they lost and the disappointment of what he had to do and how he, ended up digging in to become like, what, I'm not letting that happen again. And that's what superstars do. That's what the greats do. That's what Stevie did for us. That's what Sergei, Nick, Shanny, like you keep going down the list of the great players that we had. And we were able to be around that, every single day. And that maximized, us. We maxed out talent-wise. They made us better. Just how practicing against them, how they prepared, watching them play. They go out, do their thing. We take a lot of pride in what we did, and that was something that was pretty special. So I think all the guys that, are in the front office that were a part of the success of the Detroit Red Wings, every single one of us wants to bring that success back. The Red Wing logo, the winged wheel, it means so much to us, and we have so much pride. We want to bring that back. But the players that we have in that dressing room, we want them to have the opportunities that we had. The prospects that we draft, we want them to have the opportunities, that we've had, and that, motivates us a lot. The work ethic is set by Steve Yzerman. Like he's obviously, how he works, and it's just from there. And it's, that's, this weekend, like I said, there's not too many weekends, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday that I'm going to be home. I actually kind of cleared it with them to make sure that I was okay to stay here for the weekend. And that's just the expectation of what it is. It was funny. I got a call today from him, and I thought it was going to be about, tonight and the weekend, and it was work, So I was like, okay, it ended up being a good, 20, 25-minute conversation. Not what I thought it was going to be, but it was still, and that's just how it is. It's always going. He's always thinking. He's always challenging you. He did that as a player, and, now as a boss, he does the same thing. So Igor touched on it, and we know we're in, great hands. And to me, the work ethic that the Detroit Red Wings had from 97 and obviously back-to-back 97, 98, I would say that the front office, our staff has that work ethic as well, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in.
When you guys are around Vladdy, can you sense the lift that you give him? I think we all know what he means to you, but can you guys appreciate what you might mean to him?
I don't think that's important. Like I think it is to show up and, as much as that we do if it's around here and we care about him, but it's just to see he knows you, and the more time and trust as one of the being around here and with the insurance stuff and the way that I've sort of tried to support him in that. I see him a lot more than a lot of guys that don't live here do, but he definitely and it's unique to see. I think through his daughter Anastasia, she lets us know, but I think the more you're around him, you can understand that thing, but that's the brotherhood. So it's the same thing as when, he was on defense or he's out there playing a shift or trying to win a game. He's has always been a part of this culture. And, that's why I always said is that the one thing is in 98, we went from the high to, from being questioned if we'd ever get there to getting there in the highest of highs and in 3 days get the, your euphoria snapped in half. And that's not just us as a team, it's the whole Wing Wheel Nation. It never really properly mourned, even though the believe was so important. That's why, that cup is so important. We'll celebrate that on Saturday, but just him being around, we just, it's the appreciation. And it's appreciation. And then everything, I just wanted a side note. So the hashtag Wiser Plan, explanations, exactly what he said and exactly what Stevie said and exactly why it's not when, it's when.
Yeah, it was, it was just talking on Vladdy was, I saw him and obviously his daughter, and I asked Anastasia if she had watched E60 Unrivaled, and she laughed and she said, she did. And I just said, Vladdy absolutely, stole the show. The line was incredible. And, she was, so I asked Vladdy about, Colorado, and then she said something, and Vladdy reiterated, beat them, and it was just, instant chills of how that was. So, it's amazing, anytime that we're around him, and I know, his daughter is really going to appreciate this weekend as well, and I know, Vladdy is also. So I think, that's something that's obviously really special for us is, and that's how, 98 went for us. It was every single day. I mean, we didn't have the greatest of regular seasons, but, it was all of a sudden, come playoff time, we knew what we were doing, what was at stake, the importance of that, and I truly believe there was some fate and there was some destiny there, for us going back to back, and it's amazing to see him, but it's obviously it's very emotional when we see Vladdy as well. But I just that Unrivaled part was incredible how he said it, and he just kind of had a smile on his face too, so it's pretty cool.